You unlock this door. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You've just crossed over into
common sense zone. I've been asked to break down the Baucus Obamacare bill in a video, so here it is. Media reports state that the Baucus bill would cost just $829 billion over 10 years and will reduce the deficit by $81 billion over those 10 years. This is, if nothing else, a lie of omission and deception. In truth, the Baucus bill will cost more than $2 trillion. But Baucus craftily hid those facts. The bill assumes that Congress will allow the sustainable growth rates cuts in Medicare's physician payments to occur beginning in 2012. Yet Congress has routinely and repeatedly blocked those cuts. If you're watching this video through YouTube, you can find my references in the More Info section right here, if you click over here. If you aren't, well, you need to probably double-click the video that you're looking at right now, and it should open YouTube. If not, you're out of luck. Sorry. But historically, they've never done what they said they would before with cuts in Medicare, because the doctors won't see a patient if you only pay them $5 per person, because it doesn't cover their overhead. So that means the Baucus bill, in short, will come up $200 billion short just because of that. But that's not all. I'll get into that later. Their number omits that as much as $75 billion in new federal spending is not included in the Baucus bill. They put it on other bills. It also omits $33 billion that they're going to shove onto the states in what is called unfunded mandates, which basically means they're telling state governments, hey, that $33 billion you guys cover with your Medicare program. So that's not included. But you still pay that in state taxes. The worst part is that the Congressional Budget Office leaves out the cost of private sector mandates that are in the bill. In Massachusetts, which has universal health care, by the way, those costs actually account for 60% of the total program. 60%. So that suggests that the actual cost of the Baucus bill, which is $829 billion, by the way, plus the $75 billion, plus the $33 billion, and that's not even counting the $200 billion that you're not going to get from savings in Medicare to pay for it, but just the payment part of it. You multiply that times 2.5 and you get $2 trillion. And the reason why I multiplied it by 2.5 is because that's only 40% of the cost. To get to 100, you've got to double it and half it again. And the CBO analysis, the Congressional Budget Office, pretends that those costs aren't even there. The liberal Washington Post even commented on how the Baucus bill removed $247 billion of spending on the Medicare doctors' payments to a separate bill, and that reference can be seen over here as well. One really slick way they're pulling a fast one is how they've implemented the plan also. Obamacare, if passed, will go into effect in 2013. I mean, you hear that all the time, and everybody's thinking, well, that's because Obama will be out of office by then. No, that's not why. See, they're not really worried about people dying in the streets because they've been telling us, we need to do this right away. We need to hurry and save the people. Well, that's not the case. The libtarded progressives in the Democratic Party have realized that they could simply delay the enactment of the spending in the bill by 4 years and create the illusion that the bill over 10 years only cost $829 billion. Well, if you look at this graph that I'm posting right here, you'll see that the bill is projected to cost just $14 billion in the first 4 years. That's because they're really not covering anybody. And a total of $70 billion through its 5th year. So basically, the last 5 years cost $750 billion. So if the plan is fully implemented in the very first year it's passed, you can assume that it would cost $750 billion. You multiply that times 2, that makes 10 years, $1.5 trillion. And remember, that's not counting the money that they've hidden in other bills, the money that the states are going to have to pay, which of course you get from the taxpayer, which is you, and the incorrect assumption that Medicare costs will go down, and it leaves out the unfunded mandates on the private sector. So, what they are doing, however, is once they implement it, they start collecting taxes on it. So they'll have 10 years worth of taxes and fees, and they're really only paying for 5 full years of Obamacare. Think that's going to happen in the future? How? So, they're actually estimating that that money is going to come from, let's see, health plans that are from $8,000 for single people or $21,000 for family policies. They're calling them Cadillac plans. They're planning on getting $215 billion just from that. So, don't you think companies will all of a sudden start offering $20,999 plans so that they're just under that mark so that they don't have to pay it? So, where are they going to get this $215 billion from? That's another hole in this plan. And the Medicare savings they project, well, back in 1967, the House Ways and Means Committee predicted that the new Medicare program, which was launched just in 1966, by 1990, they said, it'll be $12 billion. The actual cost in 1990 was $110 billion. $12 billion, $110 billion. They were a little off. And when they debated the home care benefit in 1988, the projected 1993 cost would be $4 billion. What was it actually just 5 years later? $10 billion. So they were off by 2.5 times in just 5 years. And worse, in 87, they estimated that Medicaid's cost to hospitals, the payments they had to make to those hospitals to cover Medicaid shortages, would be less than $1 billion by 1992. Now this is 1987. What was it by 1992? $17 billion. So they said it was going to be $1 billion. It was $17 billion. So these are the holes in the Baucus plan. Now you know.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.